Well, hello racing fans, welcome to our Gallop TV Preview Show. It's for Wednesday the 26th of February, and we race at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth. Just having a look at what is on the go. We're on the summer course, and there are 8 races carded. Race number 1 will begin at 12:45, so it's a late start, but we should complete things at 16:53. 8 races on the go, so the exotics look sharp. We'll begin in race number 1, which will kick off the bar pot. Graham Hawkins are waiting on the line, so before we get in to chat to him, let's bring up the field for race number 1, which is the start of the bar pot. It's over 1,000 meters, and it's a maiden juvenile plate. I'm going to read out some comments that are worthwhile from the respective stables. Number 1, day in, day out, shows good work at home. That's Vaughan Marshall's runner. Horse number 3, Queen Regent, Justin Snate, if not too green, small each way chance. Number 4, Spirit, nice horse, expecting a fair run from Pete Stain. Sean Terry, number 6, he says, may need the run, but expecting a decent run. And horse number 7, worth noting, Jan Janssen van Vierel, will need the run, but minor money. The betting has it like this. Number 1, a day in, day out at 7-2. Horse number 9, Casino King at 9-2. And then we got number 10, Military Command, who I'm sure would have benefited after that debut from the Peter Muscat stable at 22-10. The balance are all in double figures. We're going in blind, a lot of first timers. Very good day to you, Graham Hawkins.
Hi Dees, trust you well. Yes, it's a tricky start for bipod punters, being a maiden juvenile plate with 9 of the 11 runners making their debuts. And as always, I suggest in these circumstances, delay your selections in the first leg of the bipod as late as possible. I think this betting can possibly change significantly as race time approaches. And my advice would be to put at least the top 3 in the betting into your bipods as late as possible. As you mentioned, number 10, Military Command, is one of the 2 that have run before, the other being number 9, Casino King. Now, Military Command didn't run too badly on debut, 4th behind its stable companion Spacebound, beaten 6 lengths. My concern with number 10, Military Command D's, is that being by fire away out of a mare by High Chaparral, I would have hardly thought that 1,000 meters is his game. So he could be vulnerable here. I think the race is open to be won by a first timer. You've mentioned those that are fancied. Certainly positive comments for number 1, day in, day out, from the Vaughan Marshall stable, raced by Mr. Huey and David Ferraris. Corne Orford takes a ride out of pole position. Positive comments coming through also for number 4, Spirit. Lovely pedigrees for both number 6, Slender Silhouette, and 7, Pretty Persuasive, being by Vercingetorix out of a grade 1 winning mare by VAR. That's Slender Silhouette, and Pretty Persuasive out of a mare by Captain L. So keep an eye on the betting. I can't suggest anything at this early stage. I do, though, think that quite possibly a first time is going to win.
Graham, you always have your finger on the pulse when it comes to the sales, and you're heavily involved there. Just, it's a curveball, but I'm sure you'd have an answer. If you look at horse number 11, Got the Look, I see the owners, it's registered as Pegasus, Graham. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
No, I'm in the dark as you are. Who Pegasus is or are, I'm not 100% sure, to be honest, but certainly got a nice pedigree. But again, one that suggests perhaps that number 11, Got the Look, would want to go a bit further. But there are fillies and colts in this race, and the fillies allowance of 2.5 can be very valuable.
Okay, that's race number 1. Place accumulator. Race number 2, a progress plate over 1,100 meters. And we'll often refer to the best weighted column, which in this race is dominated by horse number 5, but we'll get to that now. Number 2, Kai Boy at 18-10. Horse number 3, Makazole at 8-1. 4, Symphony in White at 5-2. Number 5, Beyond Eyesight, who's clearly the pick if you're just going on the best weighted column at 2-1. Number 6, Roman Agent at 7-1. But I think you're going to tell me the same, Graham. It's not clear cut as how it's weighted to turn out.
I don't trust this race at all. D's, this progress plate, 1,100 meters. It's the first leg of the place accumulator. There are only 6 runners, and I'm gone with 3 in the opening leg of the place accumulator. On form, number 2, Kai Boy, makes a lot of appeal. The tongue tie, interestingly, has been removed. That's a late declaration. But he does have 61.5 to shoulder, and in terms of the best rated column, he's not very well handicapped here, even though he brings good, consistent form into the race. 4, Symphony in White, has always promised much, has failed to deliver as a 3-year-old, but is open to improvement still, and she drops from 4 feature races in a row down to progress class. So number 4, Symphony in White, certainly could relish the fact that she steps back in class. Bjorn Ironside has been a bit of a mystery, showed terrific potential early in his career. He flopped badly in the Guineas. He's been sidelined since the Guineas on the 14th of December. But I like the fact that he's reverting to the straight course, and we could see a different number 5, Bjorn Ironside, arrive on race day. And as you say, purely on ratings, he's absolutely slung in. But quite what you expect from number 5, Bjorn Ironside, to know. But it is interesting that Richard Fourie has taken ride for Jan Van Vuren. And then equally, number 6, Roman Agent. Not an easy horse to work out. He showed terrific potential as a 2-year-old. Appears to have lost his way as a 3-year-old, despite the fact that back in November, in his first run as a gelding, he ran second, beaten only a length behind Luamba Pambili. So this is not cut and dried. It's quite a complex little race. I think that Kai Boy brings the best form into the race, but he's not handicapped on official ratings to be competitive. But I think that this is a kind of race where perhaps the best rated column is not taken literally.
Okay, that's the place accumulator race number 2, and Graham is suggesting that play it a bit wide. You'll have every chance of doubling up, but it doesn't look like a race where you can just go banker, although it is a small field, unless you really like something and you think it can't miss the top 3. Race number 3, 1,800 meters. It's an open maiden. Now, this open maiden reads like this, Graham. Number 2, Drickers. That is trading at 5 to 2. Then we got a horse number 4, Past and Present, at 22 to 10. 8, Imfulo at 18 to 10. And number 9, Warhawk, is at 11 to 2. Graham, I got a very interesting stat that was passed on to myself and a few others by Justin Snate. And I think it's worth reading to our racing fans out there. In these open maidens, 63% have won carrying 58.5 kgs plus. 81% have won carrying 56.5 kgs plus, and he makes it 50% have won carrying 59 kgs and more. Only 2 runners, he says, have won carrying less than 54 kgs. So what that basically translates to is that the better horses with the higher ratings, even though they're giving weight, do dominate these type of races, Graham.
Yeah, well, there are handicaps, and obviously the higher rated horses have earned that rating and therefore can carry the weight. But interestingly here, I'm going with the horse that is receiving a bit of weight, but equally does bring form into the race. But before I get to that, I think let's kick off with number 2, Drickers, because this is interesting. Doesn't have an official rating, so carries in terms of the conditions of the race 60.5. Was only had the 2 starts, not sighted on debut over 1,200 meters. Then was gelded, but ran a very, very good second over 1,400 meters behind Scottish Links in his first run as a gelding. It's not often that Andre Nel steps him up quickly through the distance ranges. And so from a 1,200 meter debut in 1,400 meter race in which he ran second, straight up into an 1,800 meter open maiden. And as I say, because he doesn't have an official rating, he's carrying 60.5. Same weight as number 8, Umfula, who has shown form. The 3-year-old son of Canford Cliffs ran a nice second behind ahead of the Facts last time out, over 2,000 meters, coming from a long way back. Now, Nath will have a bit of a line because he is ahead of Facts, and he also trains number 4, Past and Present. Now, Past and Present, the penny took a long time to drop, but I do like the fact that he's improved recently when tested over further. He's shown improved pace in his race, and I do think the 4 kilograms that he receives from number 2, Drickers, and number 8, Umfula, is going to sway the outcome in his favour. So I'm quite strongly in the camp of number 4, Past and Present. I think he's shown enough in his last couple of starts to suggest that at these ones, he could have the measure of number 2, Drickers, and number 8, Umfula. But clearly number 2, Drickers, it's hard to know just how further improvement is to come. Again, there's quite significant improvement. Number 2 is number 8, Warhawk, stable companion to past and present. Nice form. Has got 60 kilos to shoulder. Craig Zack takes the run. And Craig has been riding a number of winners for the Justin Snaith team, and he won 4 races at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth over the weekend. So Craig Zack in cracking form. But my clear top choice in the race team to cut to the chasers, I'm going with number 4, past and present.
Number 4, past and present for Graham, and that is the top one at 22-10. This could be the right race for him to kick things off. At start of the pick 6, you need to get on the tote by 13:55. Race number 4, it's Jackpot 1. It's a C stakes over 1,800 meters. It's like so, Graham. Number 1, Enchanting Choice from a very in-form stable and combination of Kanamea and Zaki. What a Saturday they've had over the past weekend. Splash Out Cape Derby Day and a great day for the Kanamea stable. 28-10, number 1, Enchanting Choice. Number 2, Beer with the Boys at 28-10. 5 is Aladdin's Lamp at 4-1. Number 8, Bounce Back, which is Foree and Snate. That's at 3-1. And the only scratching at the time of recording the show does come up in this race, and it's horse number 11. So as we mentioned, always keep an eye on the scratchings, etc., because this show is recorded a day earlier. Graham, this is Jackpot 1. I don't know how many horses you're going to include, but if I had to pick a top choice, I just like the fact that Kaname and Zaki have really come well. Great Saturday. Horse is in good form, the filly. And although she's taking on the boys here, she just may be good enough from a good draw of 1.
She'll be very competitive, number 1, Enchanting Choice, as you say. The Dean Kaname, Craig's Kaya Stables team had a terrific weekend, winning amongst others, of course, the Diadem Stakes with Gimme a Prince. Enchanting Choice, though, is only my 4th choice in the race. But having said that, this is an interesting day as far as the pick 6s and the jackpots are concerned, because I think each and every leg you can narrow down to 3 or 4 runners that are in line for victory. And this race, I think, is a 4-cornered contest. I think the betting has got it right. Numbers 1, Enchanting Choice. Number 2, Beer with the Boys. Number 5, Aladdin's Lamp. And number 8, Bounce Back. Those are the 4. There's always, obviously, the potential for an upset. Number 3, Green Mandarin, could suddenly come back to form, but he's got 64 kilograms to show. Now, in these Cape State races, the fillies are well heated. The best way to tell them shows number 11, To a Penny, a clear first choice, but that, as you mentioned, has been scratched. That is 1, Enchanting Choice, and 4, State Capital is the next 2 in line. But Enchanting Choice has been frustrating to follow. She always comes to win a race and then fails to finish it off. She is against the boys, yes. She's well treated by the conditions of the race, but nonetheless, she's got 61.5 to shoulder. And as I say, I'm concerned about the fact that she often doesn't show a lot of resolution in the finish. That being said, this is not going to take a lot of winning. It's an average rating 75 field. I'm more in the camp of number 8, Bounce Back. I think that victory 3 runs back over Scottish Links wasn't a bad effort. Last time out ran on nicely behind Rich Folks Hoax, when drawn just about worst of all over 1,600 meters. I like the fact that number 8, Bounce Back, has stepped up to 1,800 meters. I like the fact that he's being partnered by Richard Foree for Justin Snaith. So number 8, Bounce Back, is my marginal first choice, ahead of stable companion number 2, Beer with the Boys, and number 5, Aladdin's Lamp, and only then my 4th choice, number 1, Enchanting Choice. But all four are clearly very competitive. Need to go into the first leg of Jackpot 1, and need to go into the second leg of the picks.
Okay, Graham has given you 4 horses there to play around with in race number 4. Race number 5 is Jackpot 2. It's a B stakes, 1,800 meters the distance. And as we bring up the field, we'll give you some betting as guidance. Number 3, Hat's Pride at 8-1. We got a 17-10 shot here, Graham. Number 4, Legal Counsel, Foree and Snaith. Then we move along to number 5, which is Voor Luperkie at 8-1. Number 6, Lightning Glow at 6-1. And horse number 8, La Polga at 2-1, Graham. Yeah, this horse, Legal Counsel, 17-10, and then we got 2-1, number 8. So those 2 horses, seem to have separated themselves from the rest of the field. If you're using the betting as a guide, Graham, numbers 4 and 8, are they good enough here?
Just about. They're the two that have gone with in place accumulated for Legal Counsel and number 8, La Pulga. But if you pot and pick sixes, I would also throw in number 6, Lightning Glow. Lightning Glow has a definite chance, giving away 4.5 kilograms to both 4 Legal Counsel and 8. But Lightning Glow, 4-year-old, whereas Legal Counsel and La Pulga are 3-year-old. So at weight for age terms, number 6, Lightning Glow, is certainly not badly in. And that last run behind, Let It Be Said, suggests that he might be finding his best form. He finished off his 3-year-old career with 3 wins on the bounce and then suffered a bit of an injury in training. So it's taken him a while to come back to his best form. But don't leave out number 6, Lightning Glow. Don't make this a boat race between numbers 4, Legal Counsel, and 8, La Pulga. I do think it's a 3-cornered contest. Legal Counsel, of course, is stable companion to Lightning Glow. Is interesting. He's won 2 of his 4 starts, but this is his first run beyond 1,400 meters. Now, again, on pedigree, the legislated July winner out of a mare by Silvano. This is the type of distance that number 4 Legal Counsel should be looking for. So the fact that he's won twice over 1,400 meters may be clear proof that he's got a lot of class on his side, because he should significantly improve over this trip. But number 8 La Pulga is proven over the trip. We were very confident on this show when La Pulga won on the 8th of February that he'd get the job done. He was attractively priced at around 5 and 6 to 1 when we recorded the show, but he did shorten into 33 to 10, and he didn't let the team down. He won full of running, going away, beating Gentleman Joe by 2 lengths, showing that he loved to step up in trips. So La Pulga's got the proven ability over the distance. Legal Counsel has got a lot of potential, and on pedigree should love the extra. And I think Lightning Glow deserves a lot of respect. I think he's coming back to his best form, and his best form was always shown over this kind of a distance.
Okay, Graham has given you his thoughts on numbers 4 and 8, and if you're looking for one more, he's suggesting have a second look on number 6, Lightning Glow. Now we add the last stretch, races 6, 7, and 8. It's the last pick 3 on the card, and this is over 1,400 meters. It's a D stakes. The betting has them like this, Graham. Number 3, Dream Searcher, at 2 to 1. Then we got number 4, Arbitration, at 28 to 10. Horse number 6 is trading at 5 to 1. 7 Now the Boss at 28 to 10. And then we got double figures, the balance. Worth noting, Graham, and I'm sure you would have definitely seen that. We got 4 maidens in the race. Number 1, 4, 5, and 8 are all maidens, and we often see this down in the Western Cape when it comes to these lower division races. And I see we are trying to have these type of horses running in similar type of races in KZN, and that's going to happen a bit more often here in our province as well. But 1, 4, 5, and 8 are the first timers. Any of them get a mention from you, Graham, the maidens?
Yeah, I think my top choice is a maiden. I quite like number 4, Arbitration, despite the fact that he's got 63 to shoulder. That would have the old traditionalists would be shaking their heads and saying, how can a maiden carry 63 and a 3-time winner carry 61 and a half? It just doesn't work like that. But this is the way it works now with the merit rating system, and we have these D-stakes races here with an average merit rating of 62. And as you say, we've seen a lot of maidens win. Dream Searcher is obviously in the form of a life break. Pantom gets a very good tune. The Adam Marcus trained daughter of Erupt. So Dream Searcher's on a hat-trick, but she's been pushed up significantly in the ratings from her last win. She won handsomely, but incurred an £8 penalty. But nonetheless, Dream Searcher is still quite nicely treated in terms of the conditions of the race, as are the other fillies, Hay Fever and Nile the Boss. Nile the Boss is well treated, good consistent form, whereas Hay Fever's had the 3 starts, yet to show anything significant. Iskiro is handicapped to turn the tables at number 3, Dream Searcher. If you go back to the run on the 4th of December, Dream Searcher was receiving 3 kilograms from Iskiro when beating it. Now has to give a lot of weight away. So on best form, Iskiro Skiro's got the beating of number 3, Dream Searcher. All of this led me to number 4, Arbitration, who hasn't got a sparkling record, has been to the races 6 times, has got 1 4th place to his credit, but along the way he's run decent races in defeat, and I think his last 2 starts, which were his first 2 as a gelding, so this is his peak run, 3rd run after rested and gelded. We saw Green Garnet come out to frank that form again by winning a very good race recently, and Scottish Links I think is well above the average. So on the basis of him finishing within 4 lengths of Green Garnet and Scottish Links, I'm happy to go with number 4, Arbitration, in this kind of a race. But obviously it's a little more tricky than that. I've gone with 3 horses in the place accumulator, and I think in the pick 6 you've got to include all of numbers 3, Dream Searcher, 4, Arbitration, 6, Eskiro, and 7, Nile the Boss, who interestingly gets the services of Richard Faree for only the 2nd time in her career.
Okay, those are the 4 runners that Graham has mentioned, and I like it. It's playing with the rule, 8 runners and 4 horses on the button there. But Graham siding with the maiden Arbitration that has to lump 63 kgs here. And let's see, that will be something. The 3-year-old there in race number 6. Race number 7 is a class 4. It's over 1,000 meters. Number 1, the Charleston, is trading at 7 to 1. Horse number 2, Rattlesnake, at 5 to 1. Then we got number 3, Tough Terrain, at 33 to 10. Number 5, Bluff and Bluff, at 5 to 1. Priscilla Macy, number 6, at 8 to 1. Another 8 to 1 shot here is number 8, Barney McGrew. 5 to 1 is number 10, Polka Davar, who always gets a mention from Graham whenever she has a chance, or he thinks she has a chance. But it's now over a year since she's last won. But let's not forget, she's a 5-time winner, and she does get the services of Richard Faree here. That's the field, Graham. 10 runners go to post. Again, it looks complicated. You got older horses taking on horses that are in good form, fillies against colts and geldings. It's a mix of everything here in this class 4, Graham, and it's over the minimum trip of 1,000 meters. What are we doing?
Yeah, this is one of the more tricky races on the card, one of the more difficult races on the card, as you'd expect a Class 4 handicap over 1,000 meters to be. These kind of races, when it looks complicated, I default to one of my favorite horses in training, and a horse that's been doing us proud. Number 5, Bluff on Bluff, I think he's been priced up quite generously in the market. Yes, we won his back last time as well, when he got beat 3 parts of a length by Erndale D. The run prior to that, we tipped him strongly on this show, and he won at 12 to 1 when beating the US of A. Prior to that he was 4th, and prior to that he won, and then previous to that 2 runner-ups. So he's holding his form really well, the 6-year-old Oratorio. So when you look at a race like this and you're looking for the horse that sets a standard that you can sort of play around, then I believe there's no reason to expect Bluff and Bluff not to hold his form. So for me, number 5, Bluff and Bluff, is a standard, but it is tricky. Candace Bass Robinson saddles 2 interesting runners. Number 1, the Charleston, who's run below par in the last 2, and I don't quite know what to expect from the daughter of the United States, because I don't think she's the easiest from a soundness perspective. Watch her go to gates. If she often just shuffles to the start, but if she strides out nicely, she could be a danger. We can't help feeling that there's more to come from number 2, Rattlesnake. His recent form isn't too bad, and he's off a rating of 80. He could be competitive. The anti-post favorite, as you mentioned, is number 3, Tough Terrain. Now, he's a difficult horse to get right, but we're coming up to the anniversary of his last win. His last win was 360 days ago, so that's near enough just about on his anniversary of his last win, which was his 3rd of his career, and he always does well enough to keep you interested. So clearly number 3, Tough Terrain. Craig Zaki for Justin Snake is going to be competitive. Those, I think, are the principles. Number 8, Barney McGrew, the veteran 7-year-old, is doing well enough. You mentioned Polka Davar. We were quite keen on her last time at a big price when she tried to match strides with Elusive Winter, but failed by a length and a half. She goes up in the weights, down in class. Richard Faree aboard. But for me, the floating banker is number 5, Bluff on Bluff, but it is a tricky race. So I've got 2, 3, and 5 in the place accumulator. Rattlesnake, Tough Terrain, and Bluff and Bluff. But perhaps in the jackpot and the pick 6, you've got to go a little wider.
Yeah, I think so. 2, 3, and 5 for the place accumulator. But if you're playing any of the other exotics, if you can narrow and minimize your spend to 5 runners, I think you've done well here to survive race number 7. We move along to the lucky last. It's an odd time to close things off, 16:53. B stakes over 1,100 meters, and this is the way it looks. Number 1, Peace of Mind, is at 7-1. Then we got number 3, Blue Holly, at 11-2. Number 5, Miss Margaret Graham, is at 3-1. 6 is First Masterpiece at 4-1. Number 7 is Kailami Girl. She's trading at 11-2, and horse number 9 is at 3-1. Graham, I'm going to kick things off with a nice comment on number 1, Peace of Mind. Last time out, I remember, I think, chatting to you about what was expected down in the Western Cape. But I can tell you this, that last time out, the word is that they went too quick for her. And there was a horse that was, getting too close to her, and she started hanging out. And on advice from the jockey, they've decided to go with blinkers just to, keep her mind on racing. And I did watch the gallop during the course of the week that was posted on the group, and I must say, it looked the best that I've seen her down in the Western Cape. So I wouldn't be leaving her out of anything. Number 1, Peace of Mind. They're not, supremely confident or anything, but they're hoping that the blinkers will have the desired effect. So don't leave her out, number 1, Peace of Mind, at 7-1. But how are you playing it here, race number 8, Graham?
Well, I think the last 2 races in the card, races 7 and 8, are the more difficult races, and this, as the best rated column suggests, I mean, the way the weights are framed, the way the conditions are framed, they're all going in with equal chances. So number 1, Peace of Mind, could certainly benefit from the fact that she's got blinkers. Obviously, Jockeys putting up 1 kilogram overweight, which doesn't necessarily help her cause, but she still only has 52 to jumping out of the inside. She could certainly get the run of the race and be competitive, because none of these fillies that claim to have strong winning chances are necessarily all that consistent. So Blue Holly fits that category. I'm waiting for her to get back to Hollywoodbets Durbanville, which will be soon, but she ran a cracker behind Elusive Winter last time out, and could run another very, very good race under Ashton Aries. Miss Marguerite is a seasoned winner. She's a seasoned feature race campaigner. She's got 61.5 to shoulder. She was only marginally ahead of Artiste last time out. Artiste is better off at the weights this time around. So Artiste, who's possibly just still needed that last run, might well finish ahead of number 5, Miss Marguerite, but there shouldn't be too much to choose between them. First Masterpiece on her best form, when the pace is strong and she's allowed to relax in the early stages, as we saw last time, came flying through to beat the well-backed Amaron at huge odds. And you can expect First Masterpiece to be ridden the same way, quietly in the early stages, run at them late, and she could finish too strong for them. We mentioned inconsistent runners. Well, maybe that's a bit harsh on number 7, Kailami Girl. She didn't flatter in the Olympic Dual Stakes, but that was a feature race, and that feature race has produced a couple of direct winners already. So she's better than that competitive in this class. So this is a very, very, very tough race. It's a tough weight. It's a good quartet race. You've got to go wide in the final leg of Jackpot 2. You've got to go wide in the final leg of the Pick 6. From the place accumulator point of view, I've included numbers 5, Miss Marguerite, 6, Miss Masterpiece, First Masterpiece, and 9, Artiste, and I'll be hoping that's enough to get through. But as you've mentioned, Peace of Mind could be competitive. We could see a much better run from Sahara Cat. She's dropped off our radar after showing a lot of early potential. Japanese Rose will run on. This is a tough race, a very, very tough race, probably the most difficult on the card.
Then it could be the quartet to catch to close things off race number 8. Graham has given us his bet for this race meeting. It's going to come up on screen now, and just listening to him throughout the show, I suspect that he's going for the place accumulator. Yes, it is. You're going for the PA, Graham. It's up on screen.
Going for the place accumulator and playing it pretty wide, because I think whatever the results, you're going to drop tickets along the way. So in the first leg, I don't trust this progress plate. Normally in a race like this with only 6 runners, we'd find a banker. But I'm going numbers 2, Kai Boy, 4, Symphony and White, and 5, Bjorn Ironside. Then banker number 4, Past and Present. Then numbers 2, with the boys, and 8, Bounce Back. I think Justin Snade's going to have a really nice day. Then 4, Legal Counsel, and 8, La Pulga. Race 6, we're going with numbers 3, Dream Searcher, 4, Arbitration is my top choice, and 6 is Kiro, who's handicapped to beat Dream Searcher, but now the pot obviously needs to go into your jackpots and pick big sixes. Penultimate leg, numbers 2, Rattlesnake, 3, Tough Terrain, and 5, Bluff and Bluff, who's continues to be very good for me. And in the final leg, probably the toughest race in the card, numbers 5, Miss Marguerite, 6, Miss Masterpiece, and 9, Artiste.
Graham, as always, a pleasure chatting and giving us your input. I'd like to close by saying this weekend we know it is the second leg of the Triple Crown and the Triple Tiara. It's Classic Day at the Big T. But for us here in KZN, Graham, can you believe it? It's going to be the theme reveal of this year's Hollywoodbets Durban July on Friday. It's that time of the year. We are warming up, aren't we?
Absolutely. The excitement for champion season in KwaZulu-Natal starts just about now with the release of the theme. We're all looking forward to that. And before we know it, we're well into the season.
Thanks for your time, Graham, and all the best.
Thanks, Steve. Go well, eh?
Okay, Graham Hawkins, Gallop TV, myself, Deez down, and to you, the valued racing fan. Have a blast, find all the winners. Hopefully it turns out to be a wonderful day for you if you're racing at Hollywoodbets Kenilworth this Wednesday. Until we meet again, you take care. Salani Gaste.